Hey everyone, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I'm Manda from Manda the Biblio, and today we are doing the August prompts for PokeManda. I will have the official announcement linked down below, as well as the website that should have all of the information that you may need, but do remember that I am only announcing these month to month. This is a year-long reading challenge and beyond, if you so please. So you can count books that you already read so far in 2026, or you can read books this month that will count for previous months or in the future, whatever. You have all year to count these prompts. And at the end of the year, if you have some prompts left over, it is perfectly fine. You can bring them into 2027 if you'd like. But we will be starting Gen 2 in 2027, so hopefully you're caught up, at least to whatever point you would like to be. Remember, there are 3 different kinds of ways that you can do this. There is trainer mode, where you choose just 6 Pokemon and read the books for them, and then you count that as complete. There is no story graph for that. That is one you have to create yourself. You can choose them based on what you have read. You can do it throughout the entire life of this readathon if you want to mix up the generations. Do whatever you so please. Then there is champion mode, which for that you only have to read one book that fits the prompt for the family. So in the case of some of these Pokemon, we have Seal and Dugong, and you only have to read one of the 2 prompts to complete that family. Same with the shiny prompts. And then for the overachievers or superly overambitious folk like me, there is also Nuzlocke mode. And for that one, you have to read a book for each Pokemon. Now, for champion mode and for Nuzlocke mode, you can double up. For trainer mode, you cannot. That is a lot of books. That is why I allow you to go past 2026 if you so please. If you don't want to, then don't do it. It's fine. You can just see what you catch throughout the year. Now, we will be going over the next 12 Pokemon in this video, so let's just go over which Pokemon we'll be going over and which families they're a part of, so that anyone who is doing champion mode can see, but they will also be broken up in the story graph so that you can see which groups go together. So first up, we have Seal and Dugong. They are a family. Grimer and Muck are. Shelder and Cloyster. Then Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar are all together. Onyx is alone for now. And then Drowsy and Hypno. So we will get more into what's going to happen for the Pokemon that got evolutions later on. That will be discussed when that time comes. So if you are choosing to do Onyx, if you don't like Onyx's prompt and you would like to do Steelix's, you'll either have to wait until Steelix comes out or just not catch Onyx at all. So let's go over this one by one. Go over the normal prompt to catch the Pokemon, which is the reading prompt, and the shiny prompt to catch the shiny, which is an activity prompt. Remember that the shiny prompt, the only stipulation with it is you have to start the book you're reading for the normal prompt before you can complete the shiny prompt. You don't have to be done with the book yet, but you have to at least have started it before you can do the shiny prompt and count it. So let's just get right into this, because this is probably going to be a decently long video. So first up, we have Seal. So for the normal prompt, it is to read a book in a cold setting. So this can be one that takes place in a mountain or Antarctica or during the winter, or a hockey book could count, like a hockey romance, where at least some of it is set in the rink. Is that what it's called? I don't know. But it at least has to partially take place, in the cold setting of the rink. And for the shiny prompt, we have Enjoy the Cold. So this can either be you waiting until winter time and enjoying the cold outside. You could get a nice ice cold beverage and drink that and count that as enjoying the cold. You could get some ice cream, just something cold, or it being cold outside, enjoy that. Next up, we have Dugong. For the normal prompt, it is to read a book that is mostly white. It doesn't have to be entirely white, just mostly. But for the shiny prompt, Dugong can swim at 8 knots no matter how cold the water is, and the colder the water is, the more energized the Dugong is. So for this prompt, I really wanted to kind of play into that, and I want you to do something that other people would think is hard. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that you find hard, but if somebody else would look at you doing it and be like, wow, that's really hard, then it counts. A lot of crafts would be good for this. So next up we have Grimer, and for the normal prompt, it is to read a book that you are nervous about. And for the shiny prompt, don't get any Grimers into your space. They don't smell very good, so clean up something that you've been putting off. So like for me, I need to clean behind my couch. I have 3 kids, I can only imagine what's back there, but I need to clean behind it and I just haven't yet, so. And then we have Muck, and the normal prompt for this is to read a sequel to a book that you did not give 5 stars to. You could have rated it high, but it wasn't a full 5 stars. Read the sequel to that book. And then for the shiny prompt, remove the stink, take a shower, or a bath. Not saying that you stink, but Muck certainly does. So we're gonna make sure that we don't smell like a muck. And then next up we have Shelder, and for the normal prompt, Shelder will latch on to their opponent as a last resort, because opening their mouth will expose the soft innards and they won't be as protected. So it's their last option. So for this one, give a book, an author, or a series a last chance. This can be a book that you've tried to read a few times and it just didn't click. Give it another chance. If it doesn't click, unhaul it, take it off your TBR, whatever. Maybe a series that you just haven't really been enjoying, but you can't really bring yourself to DNF it. Read the next book in that series and decide from there. An author that some books you liked, some books you didn't. You kind of are trying to make a decision. Give them a last chance. Read their next book. If you don't like it, then maybe that author just isn't for you. And for the shiny prompt, Shelders will get little grains of sand stuck in their shell and they will turn it into a beautiful pearl. So for this prompt, work on the little parts of something to make something beautiful. This can be a project, this can be a task that you need to do, just break it up into smaller parts and get it done that way. This can be if you're crocheting or knitting, you have to do that by the stitch. You could diamond paint, you could paint, just anything where it takes small parts for you to make something beautiful. And completing a task is something beautiful in my opinion. Next up is Cloister, and for this one the prompts go together. So once a cloister shuts its shell, it is almost impossible to get it open again, no matter how strong you are. So for the normal prompt, read a book that's been hard to open. So it's a book that's been on your shelves for a while that you just for some reason keep putting off. Get to that book now. And for the shiny prompt, it is to figure something out to help you get started on those tasks that are hard to start. So in my case, I have really been loving using a spinner wheel. I spin 5 tasks and I put those into Super Sweet Bot that I have on Discord, and I let that randomly choose which of those 5 tasks I work on. And that's really helped me to get to some of the tasks that I've just been putting off. So for you, figure out something to help you get through your tasks. So next up we have Ghastly. And again, these prompts go together. In Ghastly's debut episode in the anime, it transforms into a woman who had a legend told about her that she was turned to stone while waiting 2,000 years or something for her lover. And Ghastly uses this form to trick young men. So for the normal prompt, it is to read a book with a character that can turn into something. Think like a shapeshifter. They would be great for this. You could also do a skinwalker. If you can find a book with a skinwalker, let me know down below because I would be intrigued. But just a book where someone can turn into something else. And then for the shiny prompt, the wording of this is a little off, but do something to transform yourself into the person you want to be. Now, the main idea of this is to just work toward your goals or do something to work toward your goals, but I was trying to word it in a way that worked with transforming, so I don't want that taken the wrong way. I'm thinking the person you want to be, as in the goals that you want to complete. But next up we have Haunter. Now, Haunter is a very memorable Pokemon for me because I distinctly remember the episode, and I think it's in the intro music of the original anime, where Haunter is licking things, and it just gave me the ick, and it just stuck out, and it made Haunter really memorable for me. So the normal prompt is to read a memorable book. Now, in the episode with Haunter, Ash befriends him and is trying to convince Haunter to fight Sabrina to help rescue Ash's friends back, but Haunter is just messing around and not helping at all. So for the shiny prompt, instead of doing something that you're supposed to be doing, goof off. Just enjoy some time messing around, not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, obviously, don't do this in a setting where you'll get in trouble. Maybe at home when you're supposed to be cleaning, just goof off. It's fine. The cleaning will get done another time. And then next up we have Gengar, who is one of my spouse's favorite Pokemon, so I really wanted to kind of tie that into this prompt. So for the normal prompt, it is to reread an old favorite. For the shiny prompt, it is to revisit something that you used to love. Now, my spouse is kind of torn right now between Gengar and Annihilate as his favorite, so that's why the shiny prompt is something he used to love, because he still does love Gengar, but he also really likes Annihilate, so I promise we're almost done. But next up we have Onyx. For the normal prompt, it is to read a book with a word in the title that is spelled differently than what you thought it was. Now, I swore that Onyx, the Pokemon, was spelled with a Y, and I know that the mineral, gem, whatever it is spelled with a Y, and Onyx, the Pokemon, is spelled with an I. But let me tell you, when I learned that, my mind was blown. Now, for this prompt, I will say that names can count. Not author names, but names like Emily Wilde's, like Wild is spelled with an E, which normally it's not. So I would count that, but not the author's name. You cannot use the author's name being spelled differently than how you thought it was spelled, because I personally feel that that's a bit disrespectful, so we're just not going to do that. But if a character's name is spelled differently, then I'll accept it. And for the shiny prompt, Onyx really likes to burrow in the ground to find food and stuff, so you're going to bury yourself in a mound of blankets. Obviously interpret this how you need to be accessible to you. Then next up we have Drowsy. Now, Drowsy is known for putting people to sleep and eating their dreams, so both of these prompts are tied to that. The normal prompt is to read a book that involves dreams or has a dream sequence. I'm sure we all can think of those scenes in books where the character is imagining something happening and then they wake up from the dream. So read a book that either has that or dreams are somehow a main part of the story. And then for the shiny prompt, it is to write down one of your dreams. Now, if you're somebody that doesn't dream or doesn't remember your dreams, feel free to just write something creative down. I remember learning that dreams were a way for us to kind of cope with stuff going on in our lives. So use creative writing as a way to kind of get that out if you can't remember any of your dreams or you're just someone who doesn't dream. And then finally, we have Hypno. Now, Hypno is very similar to Drowsy in the sense that Hypno puts you to sleep and then messes with your dreams. But obviously, I didn't want the prompts to be exactly the same, so they're a little bit different. So for the normal prompt, it is to finish that book that you keep falling asleep during. This does not have to be a boring book. If it's a nonfiction that you find boring, that you kind of have to read, or maybe a school book that you have to read, or that book that you read just before you go to sleep until you are falling asleep and then you put it down, finish that book. And then for the shiny prompt, it is to come up with a night routine that will help you to sleep better, or at least attempt it. I know forming routines can be tough and it's something that I need to get better at, so I felt that this would be fitting. But that's it. Those are the 12 prompts, the 12 Pokemon. I hope that I hit every single one of them. It'd be my luck that I missed one or something. That's it for this video. If you have any questions about these prompts, feel free to leave it in the comments or ask it in the Discord. That will also be linked down below. We discuss things in there all the time, so feel free to join if you have any questions, or you just want to discuss things. Let me know in the comments if you are participating in PokeManda. Let me know how many Pokemon you've caught, how many shinies you have, all that fun stuff. If you don't want to chat, then feel free to just leave me some rock emojis to let me know you made it this far in this video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!